When I was a little boy, I walked into a store and I saw a sign hanging behind the cash register, and it said, "If you break it, you buy it." I thought, oh, wow. If you break it, you buy it. I was so careful when I walked around in that store. I didn't want to break a single thing. Have you ever seen that sign in a store? You probably been in the same store that I've been in, right? Store owners would often hang that sign. If you break it, you buy it. If you broke it, you bought it. When it comes to infidelity, I like to say, if you break it, you fix it. You fix it. So often, when I'm working with couples who are trying to figure out how to recover from infidelity that has happened once or several times in the course of their marriage or relationship, I often hear things like this: I said I was sorry. How long do I have to say I'm sorry before my spouse will just let me move on? I hear things like, well, I'm a better person now because I'm growing and I'm changing, and I know how much, I hurt my spouse, but I'm not the same person anymore. I hear stuff like, well, you did it to me, so I did it to you. And that only complicates the matter, as you already can imagine. That makes things so much more complicated. But here's the deal: you can recover from having been cheated on, having experienced infidelity, having been stepped out on, as they say. You can recover from it, but you can only recover from it if you're willing to fix it, if you were the one who broke it. Hey, I'm Rod Harrison. I'm a relationships expert and an executive marriage coach. It is my joy and honor. I obsess about this stuff. I'm always trying to figure out how I can help couples reduce relationship stress, improve their connection, increase their productivity in life, because relationship stress makes focusing very, very difficult. I get I get the biggest kick and the biggest joy out of helping people solve relationship problems. And I hope I can help you solve a relationship problem today. I'm glad you're here on my channel. Hey, do me a favor, please, 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 please. I'm begging you. Would you take a second to like and subscribe? Help us grow this channel so we can be a huge blessing to a lot of relationships that are in a lot of pain and turmoil. All right, so if you break it, you got to fix it. So often people apologize when they commit infidelity, when they cheat on their spouse, when they breach the trust in the relationship. And by the way, not all cheating is sexual. I think I better drop that in there one more time. Not all cheating is sexual. It can be emotional, it can be financial, it can be overspending, it can be pornography. All of that is cheating. Why? Because they all have in common hiding behaviors that erode trust. So if you break it, you got to fix it. Now, what I find is that when the person who breaks the trust by cheating, by committing infidelity, by being hooked on porn, when they get focused on fixing it, the couples turn out amazingly beautiful, so much closer, so much healthier. It is absolutely powerful. You say, well, great, Rod. So what does it take to fix it? If it's not, you know, apologies, if it's not me just getting better, if it's not me getting closer to God, because by the way, just because you get closer to God doesn't mean you're fixing your marriage. Just because you get emotionally stronger doesn't mean you're fixing your relationship. Just because you apologize a gazillion times doesn't mean you're helping the pain that was inflicted on your spouse when you cheated. So, what do I have to do, you ask? Hey, before we get into these next five things, it's five things. If you're writing, get some paper, write them down. Would you go down into the description and click on the link that says the first five things to do after you've experienced being cheated on? It's a powerful worksheet that will help you know, what should I do? You're like, well, it happened 12 years ago. you still want to get that worksheet. I think it's going to be helpful to you. So just click on the link, get it. It's free. It won't cost you anything. It's just for you. It's my gift to help you recover, because sometimes it takes years to recover. And I want to see you recover from the cheating that perhaps happened to you or that you inflicted on someone else. All right, so let's get into this. What has to happen? First of all, if you break it, you have to fix it. How do you fix it? You have to be honest. Honesty is key. Honesty, honesty, like honestly, honesty. You got to be honest to say, this is what I did, and this is how it went. This is where I failed. You have to begin to be honest. And it's not just honesty in terms of this time of revelation where you share everything that you did, but it is choosing to be honest in the relationship along the way. Being honest, being truthful. Let me tell you, this is a huge hurdle for some people. Some people struggle to just be honest, and there's some good reasons for it. Not acceptable, but there are reasons why people don't want to be honest. Sometimes they got stuff in their backpack that they don't want you to see. Sometimes they're hiding from themselves. But honesty is key. Your spouse, your significant other needs you to be honest. Can you be honest? Not honest in such a way that you try to crush the other person. Well, I'm going to just tell you what you did and where you were wrong. No, this is not about what they did wrong. This is about what you did that hurt. You got to be honest. Yep, when I said I was at such and such a place, I wasn't there. I was over here. When I said I was with these people, no, I actually wasn't with them. I was with some other people. When I said I was going on this trip, this is what happened. You got to be honest. So there must be honesty. There must also be transparency. When there's been the disclosure of infidelity, transparency is everything, because the very nature of cheating, infidelity, is that there is hiding and secrecy. Transparency is key. You got to be transparent. You got to listen. You can't have two phones where your spouse can't know the other number. You can't have email accounts or Instagram accounts or Facebook accounts or TikTok accounts that your spouse can't access. As a matter of fact, you might want to get rid of all of those in the interest of transparency. Your spouse should have access to your email addresses, your work phone, your private phone. There's got to be full transparency. Transparency simply means that there is no hiding. So we said honesty. We said transparency. There's got to be integrity, which is close to honesty, but a little bit different in this regard. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. You'd be amazed at the healing that takes place when you start showing up at the time you said you were going to show up. That's integrity. When you start doing the things, the little things that you said you were going to do. Yes, I'll be at this event. Yes, I'll pick up the kids. Yes, I'll put out the trash. Yes, I'll do such and such. Because when there's infidelity, when there's cheating, there's a lack of integrity. And the only way to build trust, the only way to rebuild the fiber of the relationship is there must be, you got it, integrity. Are you the kind of person who's willing to make sure that what you said you would do, you would do? If you said you'd be home at 5 o'clock, guess what time you get home? 4:50. That's what integrity does. Integrity is crucial to healing the person who was hurt. So there must be honesty, there must be transparency, there must be integrity. Can I give you a huge fourth one? Tenacity. I'm amazed when I'm talking to couples who've been through infidelity that the person who cheated puts it on the other person, the faithful person, to set up all of the coaching appointments. Hold on. No, we that's not how this works. No, you got to be the one who leads the way to do the work. Hey, I made our appointments. This is when they are. This is when we're going to show up. And no, hey, we're going to move anything so we can make our appointments because I want to see our relationship get better. I want to see us heal from this tenacity. That means you get after it. You make it your aim. You make it your focus. I got one guy I've worked with. He's an amazing dude. Went through the pain of what we've just described. He made appointments. His wife said, I'm not making the appointments. You make the appointments. He made the appointments. He showed up early. He never showed up late for an appointment. Never showed up late for an appointment. He showed up early. He read the books. He went through the articles. He did the exercises that I recommended. He did everything I challenged him to do. And it makes sense because he's very successful. He's very diligent. All he did was apply that diligence to the breaking of his vows to his wife so that he could show up with tenacity and get after it. Hey, if you break it, you got to fix it. And you can't fix it being a flake. You can't fix it like in second gear. You got to get all the way into fifth gear, right? You can't fix it just, well, we'll see what happens. We'll be okay. No. You got to be about it. You got to have some tenacity if you're going to fix it. Here's the last one. If you're going to fix it. Well, before I get to this last one, did I tell you about, I don't want to forget this. Make sure that you get the 5 first things worksheet. Is there for you if you've been through this painful ordeal of being cheated on or having cheated, right? First 5 things to do. What do you do? How do we even begin? Because there's so much trauma that happens and there's so much overwhelm that you're going through that you could make a bad decision at a bad time that you will regret at a better time. And this worksheet is there to help you not make those bad decisions, but it'll help you take some very intentional steps so that perhaps the relationship can be repaired, healed, but at least you can get very clear about what you should do now. All right, so back to this 5th piece. The 5th one is empathy. We said honesty, transparency. We said tenacity, integrity, empathy. This is the big piece. Can I tell you? Because so often people say, I apologize. I'm sorry. I told you I was sorry. Sympathy is not the same as empathy. I'm going to do an entire video on that coming soon. But you got to understand that just because you're sorry doesn't mean you help heal the person. Empathy has the power to transform a person from the inside out. In fact, empathy transforms the unfaithful person when they begin to practice it. And what I've discovered is usually if you have been unfaithful in your relationship, in your marriage, you don't know what empathy is. You've never learned how to express it. In fact, the likelihood is that you're like many of my clients who've never been able to access their emotions fully. And so they suppress them, they push them down, they don't know how to express them, and it's often part of the thing that contributes to their being unfaithful. But you got to develop empathy. Empathy means that I try to feel with the other person what they're feeling. What is it like to be them? Step into their world. Don't just say, I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. I'm sorry. How about, I'm sorry. How can I be the biggest help to you possible in all of this? Are y'all tracking with me? Is this making sense? You feeling me right now? This empathy is huge, right? The person you hurt is in desperate need of your empathy. They're in desperate need of you softening and caring about what they're feeling like, the turmoil they're in, the tsunami effect that they're experiencing emotionally. Their whole world has been upended. It's been shattered. It's been wrecked. All of their contemplations about what's in the future, what they should do right now. They don't know how to be safe with you. They don't know how to trust you. They might like you, may still love you, but they know they can't trust you. You'll never be able to get that back without empathy. And here's what I know, that the God of heaven is a God of empathy. I don't know where you are spiritually. That may not be your thing, but I can tell you that God understands empathy because he draws near to people. The Bible says that he's close to the brokenhearted. He steps into our pain. He stepped into our pain. God stepped into our pain to identify with it because he's a God of empathy. And guess what he wants you to be? He wants you and me to be people of empathy. In a future video, I'm going to talk about the difference between sympathy and empathy. If you would like that, if that would appeal to you, if that would be helpful to you, let me know. We'll get it out as soon as possible. So if you're going to fix it because you broke it, if you broke it, you fix it, then those are the 5 things that you have to attend to. Hey, I'm Rod Harrison. I'm so glad we had this time together. I'm so glad that I could share these things with you, and I hope they're help to you. Again, let us know in the comments, like and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Hey, you can get better at this love life, at this married life. If it's a relationship, you can get better. You can grow. You can recover from the infidelity. I believe it. I've seen it. I've helped people do it. And I know it's possible for you. Be encouraged. I'll see you the next time.